My hope is to genuinely be an avenue, be a safe space, an informed, trustworthy place that people can lean on. And we just want to be a part of a mission that we so wholeheartedly believe in.
There is this loneliness epidemic. And I think in that study I read where there was 3 reasons why people didn't do therapy. They didn't think it worked. They didn't have time, and they didn't have their insurance.
It honestly stemmed from a conversation that we both had with each other, and it was about our journeys, and we ended up relating a lot to each other, and it was a turning point. And I think it was more like, how can we do that for other people? And then, you can explain how it became what it became, but it just stemmed from us really wanting to help other mom and daughters to have real open, honest conversations that turned into this.
Selena Gomez is catching major heat right now, and it's not for a new album or red carpet drama. Nope, this time it's all about a business move she made that's got people talking loud. A company she co-founded is now at the center of some serious mess. Employees are starting to speak up, and what they're saying ain't pretty. The word is, some folks haven't been paid. And get this, Selena's own mom allegedly had to take out a loan to keep things running. This situation is spiraling, and there's a lot to unpack. Now, if you've been keeping up with Selena over the years, you already know she's been super open about mental health. She's shared her personal struggles with the world and has been praised for using her fame to push the conversation forward. That's why back in 2021, she teamed up with her mom Mandy Teefey and entrepreneur Daniela Pearson to launch Wondermind, a big deal mental health media brand that sounded like a dream on paper. The whole vibe of Wondermind was supposed to be groundbreaking: interviews, podcasts, essays, all focused on tearing down the stigma around mental health and promoting what they called mental fitness. It was hyped as a game-changing space where people could feel seen and supported. But now, the dream's looking more like a disaster. Back when Wondermind launched, it was looking like a massive win. They pulled in a whopping $5 million during a funding round and were even valued at $100 million. Major numbers for a mental health startup. Everything looked like it was headed to the top until now. Jump to 2025 and it's a whole different scene. The glow-up has turned into a meltdown. Reports are flooding and saying Wondermind is facing serious money problems. We're talking employees not getting their checks, people getting laid off left and right, and major tension behind the scenes. And while Selena isn't the CEO or running things day-to-day, she is a founder. And with her mom still in the mix, people aren't just gonna ignore it. The pressure's building, and fingers are starting to point in her direction. Even if Selena didn't personally make these business calls, folks online aren't letting it slide. The internet's buzzing with questions, and the drama just keeps growing. Forbes dropped a bomb over the weekend with a headline that read, "Selena Gomez's mental health startup couldn't pay its employees last month." That alone caused a stir, but then it got worse. An editor's note was slapped on the article, revealing that a source claimed Wondermind laid off nearly a third of its entire staff. That's not just a little hiccup, that's a full-on shakeup. Only 4 people are reportedly left working at Wondermind. Just 4. So what went so wrong? Let's rewind a bit. Back in 2023, Selena's mom, Mandy Teefey, officially took over as the sole CEO after Daniela Pearson, who had been co-running the company with her, suddenly dipped out that same month. No one really knows why Daniela left, but insiders say that's when things started crashing. Now here's where it gets spicy. 2 former employees came forward saying Mandy just didn't have the right experience to steer the ship. They claim she fumbled major opportunities that could have saved the brand. One deal in particular, a multi-million-dollar offer from Airbnb, but she reportedly turned it down because they wanted Selena involved. According to the employees, turning down deals like that is part of what triggered the financial collapse. But wait, Mandy's chief of staff is clapping back, saying she's being totally misrepresented. They say folks making these claims might not understand how things really go down in closed-door business talks, till the damage might already be done. And here's the kicker. According to Forbes, Selena apparently didn't even play a big role in Wondermind's operations. So while her name is in the headlines, it sounds like she wasn't the one calling the shots, but with her mom in the CEO seat, people still want answers. According to insiders, Selena Gomez doesn't actually play an active role at Wondermind. Despite her name being plastered all over it, she's officially listed as the Chief Impact Officer on the company's site, but behind the scenes, one employee told Forbes, "We have to fight with her agent to get her to do anything for us, and she rarely does. And by do anything, I mean post something on Instagram or interview her for an article so it does good traffic." That's cold. The same employee dropped another bomb, saying Selena only met with the staff once in 3 years. Just once. Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Wondermind is denying all of that, saying the claims are flat out false and that Selena's involvement speaks for itself. But people aren't buying it so easily, especially now that the company is circling the drain financially. With Selena being one of the most followed celebs on the planet and reportedly worth hundreds of millions, folks are confused why she didn't step in to save the brand, especially with her mom running the show. That makes it even more shocking to hear the chaos that's unfolding behind the scenes. Forbes says things really hit the fan on March 31st. That's when employees noticed their paychecks for the second half of the month were missing. No heads up, no explanation, just no money. And it didn't take long for people to start pointing fingers. Later that same day, things started spiraling even more, and yes, Selena's mom is right in the middle of it all. Things took an even darker turn when Mandy Teefey, Selena's mom and Wondermind's CEO, sent out a tense email to the staff titled "Important Update." And what was in it? Nothing good. She revealed that their healthcare provider, Sequoia, not the big-name VC firm but a completely different company, had actually terminated all employee benefits 2 weeks earlier on March 15th. That means no health, dental, or vision insurance, and no one even knew until March 31st. Forbes got their hands on the email, and it's wild. Mandy started by saying, "We apologize for the email on a wellness day." Like, really? On a day meant for wellness, people found out they'd been without benefits for 2 weeks. That stings. She then blamed the chaos on a delayed investor payment, saying, "As you are aware, we have been working tirelessly to secure our next round of funding. Apparently, they had a critical investor lined up to send bridge funding, but the money didn't come through in time." Mandy insisted that this Series B round was still happening soon, claiming they had nearly $8 million already committed, and that the bridge investor was still trying to get their funds transferred. But in the meantime, everything was falling apart fast. She wrapped it up by saying, "We find ourselves in a situation we have worked hard to avoid." But for the employees, many of whom were already missing paychecks, those words probably weren't much comfort. In that same jaw-dropping email, Mandy made one thing crystal clear. No official Series B funding had been locked in yet. That's right, nothing had been finalized. But the bad news didn't stop there. Employees were also told they'd have to enroll in COBRA if they wanted to keep their health insurance. For those who don't know, COBRA is a federal program that lets folks temporarily keep their health coverage after things like getting laid off or having their work hours slashed. Not exactly a comforting update. Here's the kicker. Staff were told they'd have to pay both their share and the company's portion of the premiums out of pocket. That's a heavy hit, especially when people already hadn't been paid. Mandy said they would get reimbursed, but only after the company raises more money. No timeline, no guarantee, just to hang in there. Then came an all-hands meeting where Mandy tried to calm the storm. She blamed the missed paychecks and sudden insurance cuts on a legal issue and tried to spin it like good news was around the corner. She claimed new investors were still on the hook and estimated the upcoming Series B would land somewhere between $20 million and $30 million. Big promises, but the vibes weren't exactly reassuring. On top of all that, she told staff to slam the brakes on all new projects, including canceling plans for Mental Health Awareness Month. That one hit especially hard, considering it's supposed to be the core of what Wondermind stands for. Mandy even admitted to past financial mismanagement and said investors had already called out the brand's weak consumer engagement. It's messy and people are losing trust, fast. Even after employees got partial payments for March and April, Wondermind missed payroll again on April 30th. That's the third time people didn't get paid in full, and patience is wearing real thin. Then on May 2nd, Mandy dropped another bomb. She told staff she had taken out a personal loan against her own home just to cover company debts. She promised payments would be sent out the next day, but of course that didn't happen either. Company's COO later clarified that the money missed the wire transfer cutoff that day, so now everyone had to wait until Monday. Another delay, another round of stress. Employees were already on edge, and this only made the anxiety worse. Internally, people are saying trust in the company is falling apart. And with everything that's happened, can you blame them? Folks just want their money, and it keeps getting pushed back again and again. Some staff still believe Mandy means well, but there's growing anger about how many promises have been made and broken. Everyone's tired, frustrated, and stuck in limbo. And even though Selena hasn't been running things, her name is everywhere on this project, so yeah, people are calling her out too. Employees are reportedly disappointed in her silence and distance. They're saying stuff like, "You've got millions, how are you just watching this go down?" Some are now blaming her lack of presence as a major part of why things unraveled. When your name is tied to the brand, people expect you to show up. First, employees felt reassured knowing Selena Gomez was behind the company. It gave them a sense of security, like, surely she wouldn't let something with her name fall apart, right? But now, stuck in the middle of all this chaos, that confidence has turned into disappointment. That peace of mind they once had from having a superstar co-founder, it's long gone. Then came a twist. While Forbes painted one picture, People magazine stepped in with a totally different take. They're now saying that what Forbes reported isn't exactly accurate. According to People, Selena did take action as soon as she found out there were major problems at Wondermind, and they claim her mom didn't take out a loan just to cover salaries. A source told People exclusively that it's not true Mandy Tife, 49, took out a loan to make payroll. Instead, they say the loan was meant to invest in the future of the company, not to patch up immediate pay issues. And Selena? The same source claims she jumped into action the moment she heard about the financial mess. They said Gomez, 32, took action when she first learned of the issue late last week. According to that insider, Selena has actually pumped millions into Wondermind over the years, quietly backing it behind the scenes to support both her mom and their shared mission around mental health. And when she found out about this latest disaster, she didn't just watch. She invested even more money. Since she's not involved in the day-to-day, the source says she wasn't aware until things were already spiraling. Mandy, for her part, is said to have taken out that personal loan to invest in the future of Wondermind, not just to plug holes. She's trying to take the lead and keep the company alive. But let's be real, this whole situation is a straight-up mess. People are scrambling to understand how a company with so much promise, star power, and funding ended up in total chaos. Was it a case where Wondermind just didn't pull in the audience they expected? Like, maybe the hype didn't match the reality and the brand couldn't bring in enough money to stay afloat. Now, they're allegedly rushing to gather whatever funds they can to keep the lights on and cover employee pay. It's possible they just didn't live up to those big $100 million expectations. And that's what's dragging everything down. That's one way to look at it. But inside the company, there's a whole blame game happening. Some are pointing at Mandy's decisions, others at investors, and of course, Selena is getting dragged right into the center of it all. Whether or not she had control, her name's attached, and that alone is enough to make her a target in this storm. It's wild, messy, and definitely not what anyone expected from a mental health brand backed by one of the biggest celebrities in the world.